What's up? I'm Cuz I'm Black, and this is the Attack on Anime podcast. Alright, so I'm Cuz I'm Black. I got a YouTube channel. I do gaming videos and all that. And with me, we have my other three co-hosts. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I guess I could just go by my YouTube channel name, HeavenlyController HC or whatever. And me, I just do everything. I do whatever the fuck I want, really. Just anime is the stuff that seems to get the most views, though. But I also do like gaming and then just review whatever TV shows I watch and stuff. So yeah.
I guess I'll go next. Thisvthattv. I'm a writer on Modernwarnegro.com, and I also am a anime YouTuber. Yeah, that's pretty much
My
it.
name is Tony Watley II, and I'm also an anime reviewer. Well, I mean, I review anime and movies on my channel, the BlackCriticGuy.
I just review Torque videos. But let's get into it. So in recent anime news, FUNimation will be getting us dubbed anime a whole lot quicker than from originally what they were doing. How do you guys feel about this?
I think it's cool. I mean, as a person that prefers dubs over subs for the most part, well, actually, just in general, but yeah, I think it's really cool. It gives people that want to watch anime dubbed their anime quicker, pretty much, and this is a good start for it, and I think that eventually it'll be able to get more and more titles and just bring dubbed anime to the States and other Western-speaking countries faster.
Well, as a elitist, I think that this is bullshit. Okay, everyone should just watch the Japanese sub. Okay, stop being pansies about it. Now I'm just kidding. I for one like this idea as well. Funimation to me is like the Pixar of animation dubs. They do really, really solid dubs, and the fact that they're trying to improve their dubbing to release videos more in a faster rate, that's just gonna be like, yes, they're setting the trend for what is like gonna be the future for anime dubbing. Next thing you know, Viz Media is gonna do it, and AD. Oh, who's out there still? I know Viz is still alive. Who else is there?
Sentai, I think, still does some dubs, I think.
Sentai. They're all gonna have to compete with Funimation about doing these dubs, and I can't wait. I'm excited, and I just want to see what type of dubs they're gonna do, and yeah. But I mean, I prefer either one, Japanese or English. It's all good to me.
Yeah, for me, I'm kind of a mixed bag. It's really depends on whatever I see first, because there's some anime where if I see the English dub first, then I'll be like, oh, well, I'd rather watch it in English dub. And then also on the flip side, if I see something in Japanese first, and then also a lot of times I like to watch stuff in Japanese first, just because for the very reason that I'm not sure if the whole season is going to get dubbed or whatnot. So I definitely think that if more stuff gets dubbed to a better degree, that would probably increase my frequency in watching stuff in English dub, just because I know, oh, they'll dub the entire series. Because, for example, which contrary to the criticism I received, I started watching Sword Art Online, and I started watching in Japanese, even though the first season is also dubbed, just because I don't know how long it'll take. I don't want to wait to get the rest of it dubbed, because I'm not going to just hop between different languages. And in terms of Funimation just dubbing more frequently, I kind of look at that in like a third-person perspective, in the sense that it's kind of like how I make my YouTube videos, but I'm not gonna sit there and watch all my own videos. It's like I'm just putting it out there for other people to watch, and that's kind of the way I see the Funimation thing. Is because people like, for example, Modernwarnegro only likes to watch stuff in English, and I think that's kind of for the broader audience of people who aren't necessarily really hardcore anime fans. Because for me, it doesn't really matter what the language it's in. I don't mind reading the subtitles at the bottom and stuff. But for some people, it's just easier to watch in English, especially if they're not hardcore anime fans. So that way, anime that wouldn't necessarily get to an audience because it's only in Japanese, if they can dub it in English, then all those other people will be able to watch it. And then if the anime grows and gets more people to like it, like Naruto, for example, then it'll grow, get more episodes, and we'll be able to see more of the anime that we like. So yeah, I'm definitely behind that. Even if I'm not going to be the one watching it, it'll at least help expand those anime in terms of increasing their fan base. So yeah.
I like it from a business point stand view, because now Funimation, they can drop more dubbed episodes and get more people hooked in, because a lot of people don't like to read. Don't like to read shows, especially action shows, because they can't keep up with action. Or anywhere really, mainly America, I believe. But yeah, I would say that from a good business point point of view is really good. Um, Next on our list we have Attack on Titans. They're having a crossover with Marvel. Any thoughts on that?
Not really. I mean, I think it's kind of stupid, to be honest.
Why you
Oh
think it's
yeah,
stupid?
we're gonna have ourselves a little discussion here.
I
Why
don't
you
think
think it's stupid?
because it's like, I mean, I'm not gonna read it, or it's like it's just weird. It's like I've never been like I mean, it's one of those things where it's fun to think of, to like look at, but it's not anything I'm gonna take seriously. It's like even when they do those, when other manga or anime do their little collab thing, it's one of those things to where, and then even that's kind of a bit more of an extreme thing, because at least like if it was a, say, like, it's different from like a Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and One Piece collaboration. These are so stark, like these are different like realms of like universes. This is just, it's just weird. Like especially, it's one thing if it was an established series, but like Attack on Titan is one of those things to where it just like starting to really like get ground, and you know, and I see it in this realistic perspective, and I don't want to tarnish that. But I all of a sudden see Spider-Man fucking swinging around after seeing like, oh man, look, Aaron's mom got eaten by a Titan, and then oh hey, look me, it's Spidey. It's like, oh my god, I don't even want to associate that together.
I get what you mean, but I don't, except for like the realistic perspective part. Like, if you mean by realistic, I don't get that one. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm not a manga guy anyway, so this is not something that I'm not gonna. I don't think it's stupid though. Like if other people want to think, they think it's cool, yeah, they can watch it or whatever, they can read it. But this is not something that interests me, and I'll just leave it at that.
I feel like it's pretty cool, really, to see like American comics in Japan do a crossover. Like, I mean, it really hasn't happened before, but I think it'd be like
That part,
cool and
I
interesting.
think that part's cool.
Yeah, I mean, the concept of that is cool. But when I say like realistic, not necessarily realistic like, oh, we're gonna see Titans outside our windows, but more like just that Attack on Titans established a really grounded and like tone, like it takes itself seriously,
Like its own
and yeah, I mean, and it's funny. It's like, well, see, Spider-Man. I also feel like as though that is a pretty grounded and serious in the realms of Spider-Man, but just putting them together, it almost as though there's like it's a satirical viewpoint of both of them. Just by like, it's weird because you could never imagine Spider-Man existing in that world. If it was maybe Spider-Man appearing in, I don't know, but I feel as though like it's one thing to have superheroes collaborate in a comic where you can, like, for example, this is just an example, and this is by the same creators. There was a collaboration of Rave Master and Fairy Tail, if you guys know what those are.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even there was one. It was a collaboration of One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, and Naruto. I remember it was like an episode. It was like an anime episode where they were all racing to the top of a mountain or something like that. And I mean, you can kind of, sort of stretch your imagination to think, well, maybe they do all exist in this universe. They just live on different continents or something. But there's like just the whole universe, the time period that Attack on Titan existed in Spider-Man. I mean, it's cool to see them collaborate and with each other and everything. But it's one of those things you would never really take seriously. I mean, I don't know. That's just me though. But I like the idea of English people and, you know, Japanese people collaborating into one thing though. Yeah.
I think it would be just for the fans, and one thing that kind of did just cross my mind is how would they really communicate if they're like different languages? I would imagine there'd be a language barrier, but I think it'd be cool for the fans.
Spider-Man is Japanese, man. He speaks Japanese.
Language barriers don't exist in manga. And like, it's like I was laughing. In fact, I was watching this one anime, iShield 21. It's a football anime. But it takes place in Japan, and I was thinking like, okay, well, when they're going into America, the Americans are going to speak English. No, that was not the case. They went into America, and everyone in America spoke Japanese. I'm like, what the hell? They didn't even address the fact that they spoke different languages. So that's not an issue at all. But
well, I mean,
yeah.
you gotta take it into perspective of the culture. You know, I mean, how many animes have we seen where all the Japanese kids speak proper English?
When they're learning Japanese at school.
Yeah, when they're learning
at school.
When they're learning English at school too, you're just like, like there was this one anime. I loved how they did it. Instead of making the characters speak English, they just made them say "pera pera, pera pera, pera pera." That way, in English stuff, they can do the same thing. You know, that way you're speaking a different language in a sense, but you're not speaking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. So like when they dubbed it over, it still sounds like a different language to give them that like idea or to make you feel like they're actually learning something.
Exactly.
But all right. Our next topic for the news is Attack on Titan again. Attack on Titans. They are suing a movie, and part of it is on an island close to Nagasaki, I believe.
Yeah, I think that now that I saw the picture of the island that they were using, it looks really good actually. Like it looks good, like it would be a really good fit, and yeah, it'll work. It'll work from what I see.
I just hope everyone doesn't get cancer and die, but you know. Um,
Oh, you're talking about like they're filming that like a live action movie in like a nuclear area or something. Is that what you're saying?
not a
It's not a
nuclear.
nuclear area. It's like a prefecture, like a little island that they just have. And I think Black, could you? Yeah, I think he linked it. I guess I'll relink it. But yeah, it actually looks really good.
Yeah, it's just like a abandoned island, and it has like really tall buildings, and like no one's there because I guess the events that happened after Nagasaki, which was America signed some freedom upon Japan, but you know, yeah, so the island is like abandoned, and it's this huge industry, and if you see the pictures of it, it looks like a pretty good place for them to shoot Attack on Titan. It's like it kind of actually looks like the world. I would imagine that they would add some CGI to give it more of the effects that the world of Attack on
Definitely.
Titans would have, or do some prop or my bad, some scene setting up. But what do you guys think of it? Like just the idea of them shooting the anime, I mean, the movie, so close to somewhere to Nagasaki.
Well, for me, in terms of just the movie in general, I'm always behind when like Japanese people do live action stuff because I can give them props on one thing: when Japanese people do live action movies, like they do it right. They're not doing none of that Dragon Ball Evolution Avatar bullshit. Like they know what they're
We
doing.
don't
Like,
look. We do not talk about Iceland. Okay.
Talk about the two things we never should bring up in conversation.
yeah, because the one I feel as though backdrop for doing live action movies by Japanese people is that everyone's Asian and like they kind of mess themselves up. They put themselves in this thing. When they draw their characters, they all look like Caucasian people. So now it's like, when you imagine, I mean, I feel as though maybe Attack on Titan, they can kind of stretch it, but like Annie, for example, blonde hair. There are no Japanese people with blonde hair, so they're gonna have to dye someone's hair blonde, and it's gonna look weird. But
They do
you
that
can
already.
overlook stuff like that. Live action, like I think they actually the last anime movie live action creation that I watched, it was based off an anime called Gantz, and that was like perfect, accurate crossover. Even though the Gantz anime was actually kind of shitty, but it was at least an accurate
I've heard.
transfer of the source material. So they don't change all. Like it's literally you could watch the movie and then go to the anime and then you know what they're talking about. Like it's copy and paste the same factual stuff and just even like they get the costumes right and everything because people in Japan are nerds. Like they're all into that stuff. People who like the actual Hollywood people that make live action stuff here in America aren't even people who even watch this stuff. I mean, once again, I know it's taboo to reference this, but I was so pissed in that Avatar movie. They didn't even pronounce the names right. Like they didn't even watch an episode
What
of
was
that
it?
series.
Iro?
Yeah, and they didn't even pronounce
Ong.
Aang, the main character's name, right. It was Ong and Sokka. They didn't even get their races right. Like you figure in the actual series, the firebenders were like the Caucasian-looking people. They were like Hawaiian-looking or something. And the waterbenders were supposed to be like the kind of like Eskimo type people.
American, right?
They're
Yeah.
they're like Caucasian-looking or
White.
Mexican or
They're
something.
white.
Yeah, like, it's just oh my god, it was just an eyesore. I couldn't take it. It's just anyways, let's not even talk about that anymore.
But
You brought it up.
you did, but I think the Attack on the Titans movie idea is kind of cool with the location.
Yeah.
But segueing on to our next main topic, which is Naruto, which will like lead into our bigger topic. But Naruto manga finally ended, kinda, because there's gonna be a part 3. But right now, like the Naruto Shippuden manga ended. So, what do you guys think about that? If you care, you don't care, you like it.
Well, I'm going to bow out of this for a little bit because I haven't seen it, so I'll just leave that to everybody that's seen it.
Well, for starters, I was already and I'm sure many people were. I was pissed the second they announced, oh, there's going to be only 5 chapters left, and really like nothing had even happened. Like they seemed like they were kind of rushing it. I do have to say that I am kind of like I'm not necessarily disappointed with the ending. Like it felt pretty poetic. Like it's kind of the way you expect it. And like yes, it would obviously end with a battle between Naruto and Sasuke, and yes, it would end in a draw and just stuff that you would expect to see happen at the end. Just like it all happened. You almost feel like a fool for not predicting it. But and because there's a part 3, once again, because if this was just it, like if the manga just ended right here and we saw nothing after this and then there was no movie, then maybe I probably might have been a little disappointed because I'm like, wow, there's still so many questions that need to be answered, like what's underneath Kakashi's mask and who's Naruto gonna get with if you care about that kind of stuff, and just But and once again, I'm still sure they're not going to answer all the questions because I have to say, like Kishimoto, he does pull stuff out of his ass sometimes. So there's still some things that we're never going to know the answers to. But and also it helped that the last manga chapter was longer than normal and everything, and that they did do one little time skip just for a few pages just to see Naruto become Hokage, because that's like that wouldn't even feel right if we saw the end of the manga and Naruto didn't achieve his goal. That just wouldn't make any sense. But yeah, despite it just kind of cutting short, I do say I do wish maybe the battle between Naruto and Sasuke lasted longer, considering the battle with Kaguya. And yeah, she was such a two-dimensional character. Like, she was a disappointing villain. But they dragged that on for a few chapters, and then the Sasuke and Naruto battle wasn't even a battle. It was like a half of a chapter. Like, it was literally just a clash, and then their hands get blown off.
With an epic high five.
Yeah, really though, it was like friendship, and then a big ball of friendship and everything, and just and then the rest of the chapter was just Sasuke all of a sudden like, oh, I've been jealous of you this whole time, and just like, and I've complained about this before, but I'm just like, it took your hand to get blown off for you to suddenly say, oh, I'm a good guy now. All right, let's hold hands and sail off into the sunset. Like, I'm like, that would have been great, like 3 years ago. Like, all of a sudden you come to your senses. Like,
I don't know. To be fair, though, he was a teenager. You know, he was in that rebellious age. He's just like, fuck everybody. I'm going to just hang out with Orochimaru and everything and fuck the world kind of thing. He was in his emo phase. You know, it's all over now. We're adults. So, I was about to say, man, you were just dropping spoiler after spoiler.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Well, I mean, I feel as though, well, maybe we could just put a spoiler thing at the beginning, but I feel as though if we're going to talk about the Naruto manga, I mean, if you're not going to spoil it, you can't really have a compelling conversation about it, but,
True.
But,
Got the point.
Like, and then I feel as though, like, it seems like nowadays, if you haven't read the manga or haven't caught up to it, it's like, especially with this, all of the Naruto, the last movie stuff, if you've been looking at that stuff, you've basically spoiled everything for the manga anyways. Like, all these spoilers have just been in everyone's face. It's almost like an obligation to know what happens. Like, even when, I almost feel as though when even the people who make the anime, it's almost as though they don't even expect you to not know. Like, they spoil, like, if you pay attention to the openings of each season when they change the opening, they spoil everything that's going to happen in the next 20 episodes in the opening. Like, they show you all of the stuff. Like, they spoil stuff. They showed in the opening, and this isn't spoiling anything because it's in the opening, even though I've already spoiled all the manga and shit, but Madara, he has this, like, he's running around, he's fighting, and he's got the Hashirama thing on his chest. Like, I remember when I first saw that, I was like, oh, what the hell? Like, that's freaking weird. But they spoiled in the opening, so now you already know what's going to happen. So I think that, I feel as though maybe they just expect Naruto's so popular now, everyone's read the manga, or at least everyone knows what happens in the manga. Because I remember, for me, it wasn't just a choice. Like, I just decided I wanted to read the manga. It was one of those things. And actually, I remember too. It was because it was that period when Naruto was just leagues and leagues of filler, and I was like, man, fuck this. I'm not about to watch all this. I want to find out what happens now. So then I just started reading the manga.
Filler everywhere.
And then, and then also it was a mixture of that, and then I remember this too. It pissed me off. The spoiler that I got, that I was just like, well, fuck it, I might as well read it all now. Is I remember I was finishing a football practice. I was in the locker room, and then I don't know why a bunch of football players were reading Naruto manga, but and they're sitting there like, oh, so I found out that Toby is Obito Uchiha. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
we'll wait on the party.
I was like, wow, like that just totally messed me up. And then and also a quick little thing, I noticed when I heard that, I was like, wow, it was kind of in your face. Toby, if you mix something around the letters, it spells Obito, but anyways. But yeah, I mean, anyways, that was a really crazy tangent, but in terms of the manga ending, I would be more disappointed if there wasn't going to be a movie and a part 3, which is going to center around the kids of Naruto and just that next generation. So kind of like a Dragon Ball GT type thing, except it's not as crappy, hopefully. So yeah, but so yeah, that's basically all I got to say about the manga. Anyways, I don't want to go too in depth since I've already spoiled enough, but some people haven't read all of it, so I don't need to go in super depth or anything. But yeah.
To close off Naruto, I would say, even though it's not ending yet, it's hopefully does end soon, which kind of segues into our next segment, which is the effects of like these long-lasting anime on like people in the industry. And like one thing with these long, huge animes, like say if someone never even heard of Naruto, or like 10 years down the line from now, someone wants to watch Naruto, it's like, do you really want to sit there and watch all 600, 700 episodes that are to come out?
That's the thing. I don't think so.
I thought you were talking about how like replacing the big 3, because like, you know how these like there aren't a lot of anime out like that are new that are like hundreds of episodes long, except for maybe like Fairy Tail or something. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say like I don't think that's gonna be a thing going in like 10 years from now. I honestly think that there'll be something else that people will be watching. I don't know if people want to go back to watch 600 episodes, 700 episodes of Naruto. Um, even though it'll be ended by that point, but still, I don't see people going back. There'll be something else that everybody will be wanting to watch, and they won't waste their time going back and try to watch 700 episodes of some long-running shonen that's already over.
Hey, Kenny wants you to call him, but
If you have the time to watch 700 plus episodes of an anime, you have no life. That is just the truth.
Oh no, what I was gonna say was there are very few shows or just anime or anything to where even me being like a fan of media, TV shows and stuff like that, it was like 600 episodes. I wouldn't want to just binge watch that many. Like that would take forever. And I was talking to this other guy and he did the same thing that I did essentially with One Piece. One Piece is so many episodes long now, and for me, I literally just skim through stuff. I wasn't gonna sit there and watch all the filler and like One Piece is one of those things where literally I'd be like, if I started to get bored, I just start skipping. I start skipping every 5 minutes so I get the gist of what's going on, but I'm not completely watching it because. But what I was gonna say though about just like because I know we were mentioning about how if any anime are gonna replace the big three and if we're gonna have more 400, 500 plus episode anime, and I think that's just a trend that because those were like the first few, starting out, and that's why they were able to go on so long. But now that I feel as though anime, I think, especially in America, because of Toonami and things like that, in the past decade has more established itself as a more popular medium. I think that we're not going to necessarily get anime like that because it's easier for anime to get ground now. Like you figure Attack on Titan is like 25 episodes in, and Akame ga Kill, like episodes that came out within the last few months are already super popular. Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, like those anime weren't popular like right from the get-go from the first 50 episodes. Like they had to establish some episodes, some volume before people started to notice them. So nowadays I think though anime they can be smaller now because they're easier to make them make. So like you get people who they can make an anime, 50 episode anime, and then they'd be like, okay, that was my story. Now I can start another anime, and they'll see that it's made by the same person, and then they'll start to watch that one too. We're starting to see more anime that are smaller in volume, but there's several anime made by the same person. Because you figure, like think about now, the authors for Naruto and One Piece, Bleach, and all those, when they're finished, they can start a new project now because that's all they've had to focus on nowadays. So we might not see popular, like just singular anime that are just totally eclipsing everything else, but we might see what we might end up seeing instead is just the same authors of this, like of the manga. Like we might see like popular, like for example, the creator of Cowboy Bebop. He had Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, and then this most recent anime, Akio no Terror. We have people like that who they make several different anime, and then they're popular by name, not by the anime specifically. So yeah.
Anyone else?
I was gonna say, like, I feel bad for people that have long-running anime series too, because like, as much as they have like those long-running shows and everyone remembers them for it, they're gonna be forever synonymous with that. You talk about Naruto and Bleach and One Piece. Those authors, man, even if they make another property, they'll either be compared to the property that they've been known for, or they just won't hold up to the property that they did. I mean, look at Akira Toriyama. I mean, the guy made Dr. Slump, but no one talks about it. He did Majin Z. No one ever talked about it. But the minute he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do more Dragon Ball Z, everyone's like, oh, yeah.
That's true. Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's like you're known for that, but at the same time, if your next other projects don't live up to it, no one's going to care because they're like, oh, well, this isn't the Dragon Ball Z quality.
It's the long running anime curse, It's
yeah.
Price you gotta pay for the fame, baby.
Like, I feel like it's kind of cool at first to have maybe like a 300 long episode anime. Like that's cool, but like
You need to
600.
do. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say because like once you get like past maybe 300 or 400 episodes, like I don't feel like as an author you really are like dedicated to that, and then like your fan base is gonna be like, all right, you did this, but like if you want more people to like watch it, it's just so what's the word, like so deterring to see like something you want to watch is 600, 700 episodes long, and then it's like I don't want to watch that because I'm not gonna sit there. Like that's just so long.
I guess like kind of going off what everybody else was saying about like when the shows come to an end, I feel that there will never really be any anime or group of anime that will ever be like as big as like the big three that we have now, and what will probably happen is the fans of the series that are going on right now will probably just jump on to another shonen, like Fairy Tail or something like that, another one that has a decently long episode count that they can just sit there and watch for years, and that'll create the new big three if there's going to be a new big three. That are a new show that comes out, and all the fans that leave Naruto or One Piece or Bleach will just kind of hang on to something else that's similar, like something like Fairy Tail or something else that's not even out yet.
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on Fairy Tail. I stopped watching that the past couple of weeks. Anime's been sucking. That's the anime, but
Is it bad? Has it gone bad? Damn.
Well, because it went on like a hiatus, and then ever since it came back, I don't know. Just the storytelling just seems rushed, and it just seems kind of decreased. But right now, they're like literally like a filler season. Like it's not filler because it's in the manga, but like nothing plot intensive going on, so it's kind of like no reason for watching it.
Well, speaking of filler, that's another topic. With these long-running anime, like 30% of them are always filler. So who here likes filler?
Well, you know, there have been good filler. I remember Naruto had some good filler, but that's just because there's so many of it. So something has to get out of the 200 episodes of filler or something like that. Or sometimes, like, I like when filler, they give you exposition and backstory that you might not have gotten in the manga or that they didn't have time to put in the canon episodes. But when they do that, it has to be like a couple of episodes. Like, I hate when filler goes on for just episodes and episodes, and they just constantly, or if they interrupt you right in the smack middle of a plot, because Bleach would do that crap. I don't like it.
Bleach did that all the fucking
Yeah. They were like,
remember well, guess what? We're back in Soul Society.
That's the one thing I'll give Naruto credit for with some of their filler. A very small percentage of it. It did give you a lot of backstory and stuff. But they did what Bleach did too. From what I'm hearing, like, because Naruto, they like especially like the deep sea arc, whatever that's called, that was terrible. Where he was traveling to meet B to do his training to be a better Jinchuriki, and they had like 20 episodes of filler right before that arc was supposed to start. Stuff like that. That almost breaks your experience.
Yeah.
That moving or that spiky island or whatever you're talking about that.
Yeah, the island, whatever filler arc that was, that almost made me drop Naruto, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that was like one of those periods where I just stopped watching it for a good deal, and I think I either one of two things or maybe a mixture of both. I remember I like would watch them in groups or just kind of skip them all together because I don't care. So yeah, like there were episodes where Naruto wasn't even in them, and yeah, I didn't even care about those.
Well, the only time I think filler is ever done right is when it focuses on building some character, like doing character bonding moments and stuff. One thing I felt like the old Naruto filler episodes missed out is that Naruto wasn't able to bond with like freaking Hinata or like other ninjas. They would still go on this mission. They'll talk a few times, but it's always about the mission. I remember there was this one filler episode where they were trying to find a bug that can, like, if you give them the scent of a person, they can find him wherever they are. And they were going to find people that he could find Sasuke. And I was like, this could be some great bonding moments with freaking Shino and Hinata, but instead, Naruto's out there trying to find a fucking bug, and then these guys come out of nowhere, and Hinata has to fight them. I'm like, no, I want them to bond. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I guess filler is good when it actually does help with the character development, but like 99% of the time filler is bad. But I do understand its importance, especially with ongoing anime when they have to separate time between the manga and the actual anime, because you know when you're doing like a TV season or when you're like scheduled with a TV season, you have a certain amount of episodes, and sometimes you don't have the manga written out, or if you do, it will catch up, and then your like manga and your actual animes are out at the same time, and I guess they don't want that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We got anything else?
Um,
I'm running out of steam here, and I haven't eaten dinner yet, so.
Dinner.
You got any thoughts about it, this V?
About what in particular?
Fillers.
Okay. I was just gonna say, yeah, filler by itself. I think in even like shorter series is like there's things that there's just small episodes of filler that'll add some exposition or some character backstory or something. But stuff like that, it's even hard to call it filler sometimes because sometimes it's like it's necessary to be in the plot. Like you have like one episode of filler, but it'll actually share something specifically with you. Like if I'm remembering right, there was an episode of Code Geass where some people might consider it filler, but there's actually like a lot of things that actually happen in it. It's just like it's not incredibly plot specific. But a lot of stuff does happen in the episode that gives you some insight into what's going to happen eventually. So, but I think the problem is when we get into filler arcs.
Do you remember what episode that was?
I think it was one of the episodes when they were at the school. When they were, I think it might have been the fair episode, if I'm remembering right. It was either Code Geass or some other show where, yeah, I think that's the episode that people would talk about as filler, but I didn't see it as filler.
Wow.
But I would feel like I said earlier, filler is mostly bad. But when they actually do like shine light on like background stories or character development, then I guess it's all right. But you have any thoughts on the effects of like long-lasting anime on the industry? Like, do you believe any more will come out of it? Any more like the next Naruto or something?
I also just like reiterate what I said earlier, kind of like I think it'll something will just rise up on the coattails of Naruto and the Big Three, and probably I don't think it'll ever be as big, but it'll probably just that or something new will just kind of slide in under that and kind of take its place. But at the same time, I don't think anything will ever be as popular as those three anime were when they were at their most popular.
I don't know, man. They said the same thing about Dragon Ball Z, and One Piece surpassed Dragon Ball Z both in ratings and manga sales. So I think give or take, sooner or later, something will come along that will probably surpass One Piece. Like, there's always something that will be better or surpass another. No one ever holds the record forever.
Well, I don't think that nothing's going to surpass them necessarily, but I don't think anything's going to be as long as those. I think those were, like, Dragon Ball Z was the first kind of entry level into, like, especially bringing, like, all different types of people from the world into anime, and then those other three were, like, it was like the, Dragon Ball Z was, like, the gateway anime, and then the next three was, like, the next step, and then if you're watching any of those other anime, then you're kind of just, like, you're into anime now, it's kind of thing.
Like your introduction to anime?
Yeah.
I would agree, because, like, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, all One Piece all got me into liking anime.
Yeah,
I guess like they're a good intro, but as far as like in the future, like say if Detective Conan, like that's still I think it's still ongoing, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Like I seen like the first few episodes, but I would never get into the anime because I know it's like over 400 episodes by now. But for my thoughts on it, hopefully we don't have any more long-lasting animes because I feel like that we just need shorter stories, like better stories, but just shorter and more compressed.
Yeah, I think the short story count allows for an actual ending and a more cohesive ending. Like when you like of course I haven't read it yet, but from what I hear from you guys, it seems like they just kind of decided to end Naruto abruptly. And I don't think there's really a good way to really wrap up a series that's been going on for
15 years,
years, like a decade.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, like I don't think it can't be easy to wrap up a series like that. And with shorter episodes, like 25, 50 episode counts, it's a lot easier to tell a more direct story and have a really good ending as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would agree with that, but I've seen it done before where they can do a good ending.
I'd say it's possible. Yeah, I just think it's more difficult. Yeah.
It is difficult, but I think if you put in the effort, it can be done. Like take Naruto for example, if they, I believe they said the last manga had Naruto and Sasuke fighting, right? So what if they had like all this build up, the fights are all concluding, and then it's just like moments of peace. Everything's trying to get back together, and then that's when they turn to Naruto. It's like, will you become Hokage? And then it kind of like zooms into his face, it's like, hell yeah, and then that's how it ends.
Believe it.
Believe that I will. A good example of this is I think one of the best shonen animes and probably one of the best paced long-running animes was Yu Yu Hakusho. You guys remember that show?
Yeah.
No, vaguely.
Unfortunately,
I'm older.
I never really got into it. I need to, though. I want to
Oh.
go ahead and get started on it.
I think that
Oh,
was a
I know
decent.
I'm missing out. I really
I
need
think
to
that
get
was
into it.
that was a decent one. You should probably check that one out. But
no.
you good, Tony?
But yeah,
Definitely watched
that
it before, but
anime,
never finished it.
that anime is it is a perfect paced action anime. Only 112 episodes long
It's not
with
that bad.
and it is just perfectly paced. I think the only problem that I had is that the ending to the not the ending, but like the last few episodes of the anime, I felt like you could say it was rushed, but at the same time, I thought it was handled very well for what they were trying to go for. And again, when I look at other shonen animes, I always say, you could have pulled Yu Yu Hakusho there, ended at the right, point where the story can conclude, but there's still just a bit more to be dealt with, and that's what I like. And honestly, the guy who created Yu Yu Hakusho is the only guy I know that broke the shonen long-running series curse, because he has both Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, both of them
Oh,
long-running animes, and they're widely popular. So
Um. All right. What are your closing statements for this, Anthony?
For me, I don't know. Where's my closing statements? I feel as though I've already gotten everything I have to say, basically. I can say, I guess, since I just started watching them, some anime for people to start watching. I started watching Rage of Bahamut Genesis, or Shingeki no Bahamut Genesis, as it's called in Japanese. And then I started watching Terraformers, which is about cockroaches. I'm going to do a video on that in a second, too. But yeah, other than that, yeah,
Just see that.
that's all I got.
um, well, I don't know. I don't know what other closing statement. I didn't really think about it, but yeah, I guess you can check out this podcast on Modernwarnegro.com, where you got the latest in gaming and information news and everything like that. So yeah, go ahead and check it out there.
Tony?
in the words of my role model, my idol, the guy I look up to in the world, Rick Ross. But no, seriously, I really enjoy doing this podcast. I can't wait to do the next one and see what topics we're going to talk about. And for all you watching out there, thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in next time our video comes up. And yeah, awesomeness. Oh.
All right.
All right. Well, I don't got
Good to
nothing
go?
else to say. And
Let's go.
I guess we out.